All right. Welcome back, y'all, to another reaction video. Let me turn this fan off. Y'all probably hear that. Welcome back to another reaction video. So we're gonna watch this video, 0.01% impossible WWE wrestling moment. So without further ado, I'm about to straight to this video. So let's watch right now.
Now, there are certain moves and spots in WWE that are insanely difficult to pull off correctly. These are moves which usually take a ton of practice to perfect, and sometimes the wrestlers themselves don't even land the move with 100% accuracy until they do it live. These types of moves range from insane feats of athleticism to unbelievable showcases of strength, endurance, and willpower. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 once-in-a-lifetime WWE moves that will never be replicated.
Y'all like Buenos?
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts. Number 10, Sheamus lifts the Big Show onto his shoulders. It's no secret that WWE wrestlers are some of the strongest athletes in the world. Some feats of strength require not just a great degree of power, but they also require cooperation and trust. This was most definitely the case in 2013 when during a match on Raw, Sheamus lifted the Big Show onto his shoulders. This show of strength was truly incredible, and the trust that Big Show had to have in Sheamus to safely lift him can't be understated. Sheamus would then fall backwards, and this could have been a spot in which could have gone horribly wrong, but thankfully it didn't. Number 9, one-arm press slam. Bianca Belair is well established as being one of the strongest women in WWE history, and a match at the 2023 Backlash PLE event was a great showcase of her strength. Belair would collide with Io Sky in an outstanding matchup, and the majority of the match was focused on Sky working on Belair's arm. Later in the match, Belair would attempt a gorilla press slam with just one single arm. Somehow, she managed to execute it. Sky did have a rough landing, but she was said to be fine, which was a true miracle, as it was a scary spot that only could have been executed with a talent as strong as Belair and a talent as cooperative as the genius of Sky. Number 8, moonsault into a super kick. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn was an acclaimed event by many, and one of the highlights of the event was the NXT North American title match between Adam Cole and Ricochet. During the match, Ricochet would attempt to execute a trademark springboard moonsault, and this was when Cole countered by delivering a picture-perfect super kick. The margin of error for this spot was so slim, and if Cole was just 1 second off, the spot wouldn't have worked. Cole managed to land his kick at the perfect moment, and the crowd came alive.
Y'all saw how his head bounced? I just reacted to the AJ Styles and Seth Rollins match or whatever. I feel like a part of the reason why AJ might have lost is because he fell into that super kick. I don't know. But yeah, that shit crazy.
Number 7, shooting star press into an RKO. Randy Orton has delivered some iconic RKOs out of nowhere throughout his decorated career, and one of the most celebrated occurred in 2010 on Raw. Evan Bourne was getting set to perform a shooting star press on Orton, and this is when Orton countered it in midair and delivered a devastating RKO. The spot was magnificent, and the fans were speechless in reaction to how Orton performed this without a substantial botch. According to Bourne during an interview with Sportskeeda, this specific spot back in 2010 was a spot that started the RKO out of nowhere trend. The hardest thing to do in wrestling is that every time you show up, there's just a ring with 3 ropes, turnbuckles on each side. It's extremely hard to do something to surprise and shock the fans. So I can't tell you the mentality behind this stuff, because that's thousands of hours manifested into one moment, maybe in the shower or driving down the road that the idea comes and the genius strikes, and sometimes it happens moments before you go into the ring. I'm glad I got to do this spot with Randy Orton because we started a sensation called Out of Nowhere, and people love it when that happens. Number 6,
seemed like they had some great synergy going on.
WrestleMania 25 featured one of the most beloved matches in WWE history as The Undertaker faced off against Shawn Michaels. There are several spots in the match that elevated the storyline on display, but it was the final spot in the match which is often discussed when dissecting the elements of what made the match work. To bring the classic match to a close, HBK would attempt a moonsault, and this was when the Dead Man managed to capture HBK in midair and deliver a sinister tombstone piledriver. This spot could have gone horribly wrong as the timing had to be just right and the dead man had to be in precise position to safely catch one of his most notable rivals. Number 5. Rolling German suplex on Braun Strowman. The second match of night 1 of WrestleMania 39 was truly special as 4 teams collided in a showcase match. Whilst nothing was at stake, all 8 competitors wanted to steal the show and each respective wrestler did everything they could to make the match matter. One notable spot in the match made the crowd come alive and it featured Chad Gable performing a rolling German suplex on the much larger Braun Strowman. This received one of the largest ovations of the entire WrestleMania weekend, and it was a clear sign that Gable, despite being one of the shortest wrestlers on the WWE roster, is able to deliver astonishing acts of strength. Number 4. Sweet chin music out of nowhere. The Ruthless Aggression era was known for matches that put a focus on in-ring action, as names such as Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels all participated in elite classics seemingly on a monthly basis. One of these classic matches took place on free TV on Raw in 2005. HBK was wrestling Shelton Benjamin, and this match saw one of the smartest match finishes ever delivered on WWE. Benjamin would attempt a springboard, and this is when the cunning HBK delivered a sweet chin music out of nowhere. Out of nowhere spots weren't really a thing in WWE back in 2005, so it was truly wonderful to see. During an interview with Comic Book, Shawn Michaels was asked for his thoughts on the spot, and Michaels himself admitted that it was a case of capturing lightning in a bottle. It's one of those ones that it's lightning in a bottle, lads. The timing and everything else is just so perfect. Because again, you can't do that same thing, but if the timing isn't perfect, it doesn't quite stand the test of time like that one does. That's one of the moments where everything comes together, and it certainly does not hurt that you have got an unbelievably stellar athletes like Shelton doing all of the heavy lifting and that type of stuff. I'm the guy that got to win, but I always argue that he's the guy and he did the majority of the work in that particular instance. I have to thank him for that. Number 3. Spear into a pedigree. 2 former stablemates collided at the 2016 Money in the Bank event as Seth Rollins took on Roman Reigns for the WWE World title. This match is arguably one of the best matches of their respective careers, and the match featured a particular spot that made the Las Vegas crowd lose their minds. As Reigns was about to finish Rollins off with a spear, Rollins managed to intercept and catch Reigns with a pedigree in midair. The spot could have gone badly wrong, but Rollins managed to master his timing and the spot went ahead without a hitch. It's been replicated a few times since 2016, but it hasn't been executed in the same manner, and the initial spot from 2016 will always be looked upon as the original variation of the ingenious counter. Number 2. Curb stomp into an RKO. WrestleMania 31 was an acclaimed
So if you're paying attention, in order to counter the spear, is to jump and catch him in between your legs and do a pedigree. I gotta remember that in case somebody try to spear me.
WrestleMania event, and one of the reasons for this high praise was because Randy Orton and Seth Rollins delivered a spot which seemed to be impossible. During the final moments of their match, Rollins would attempt a signature curb stomp, and this was when Rollins was hoisted into the air, only for Orton to intercept with an RKO. To say that everyone was stunned would be an understatement, and it was only by chance that the 2 former world champions pulled off the spot correctly. According to Rollins during rehearsals, they were unable to safely execute the spot, despite trying several times to get it right. Instead of abandoning the spot altogether, they decided to try it live, and thankfully it worked even better than they could have ever imagined. And number 1, Logan Paul's mid-air collision with Ricochet. The 2023 Royal Rumble featured a ton of exciting moments, but following the men's Rumble match, fans were mainly talking about the infamous spot between Logan Paul and Ricochet. During the match, both men would springboard at the exact same time and collide in the middle of the ring. This was truly breathtaking, but the chances of landing this correctly and more importantly landing the spot safely were very slim. It looked incredible on TV, and Ricochet would go into detail during an interview with Chris Van Vliet in relation to how the spot was executed. Going into it, I told him, listen, I want you to be as comfortable as possible, so I don't want you to wait on me. I don't want you to think about me. I don't even want you to worry about me at all. Whenever you're comfortable, you just go, and I'll time it off your jump. I'll time it off you. I will go with you to make sure that we're good. I was like, don't worry about if I'm gonna jump or if I'm gonna do or if I'm gonna go. Don't worry about me. You just go and then I'll follow you. I'll follow suit. He certainly did. But there you have it, folks.
Synergy is everything. And I also noticed that he mentioned something about he mentioned it twice, that how they would rehearse it or practice it so many times, but once they do it live, it seems to work. I don't know, maybe it's just something about the adrenaline and being in the moment and like hearing like the crowd, you just kind of let go. That's like when it works, like it's a natural thing versus like practicing it over and over and over again. But yeah, having great synergy is very important because we've seen some crazy botches, so you know, people getting fucked up or whatever. So it's very important for both people to be on the same page because, you know, people get fucked up, crazy ass like neck injuries and shit and stuff getting broke. Like we've watched those videos over here. But that's gonna do it for this reaction, y'all. Leave some comments down below and let me know what you guys think, and I will see y'all in the next one. Toodles.